Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SouthLAnder 2021 as we're heading on in to the quarterfinals for our second round of league action. We kicked off the second season of SouthLAnder last week, and now we're jumping into the quarterfinals. Surrey taking on Bristol. I'm Milky Cereal, still joined by Kalo. How are you doing this wonderful Sunday afternoon?
Oh, I'm good. I'm looking outside and seeing the sun, but we're in here for some great league. Can't go to the pubs, so what a better place to be.
I can feel the sun on me. It's weird that we're still in February, albeit just by 1 day left in the month. We will be heading into March soon, and we'll be seeing who March will be favouring as a victor and who the semi-finals will be welcoming into that penultimate round of the tournament. Now, I do want to jump straight on in because Surrey taking on Bristol, and these are two teams that are on completely different ends of the spectrum. Surrey, we've seen before, they were in the finals for SouthLAnder 2020. They lost 2-1 against Portsmouth. But Bristol are somewhat of an unknown quantity. They weren't in SouthLAnder 2020. They got a bye in their opening round. So this is a team that pretty much nobody really knows what to expect from.
Yeah, for sure. So Bristol, they got some high-ranking players. While they got the bye, we didn't get to see Surrey's current lineup because they got given a bye last week as well. So these are two very unknown teams. Last year, Surrey did very well playing through their top side. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop through that and how Bristol, if they have watched the VODs from last year, see if they can adapt to it. They've got some very strong players and some very large champion pools to work with.
And I'm glad you did bring that up as well because Surrey did have that bye. They were able to get through through a forfeit. We were supposed to be able to cast in that game. I believe it was against Cardiff. So both the teams are a little bit green in that sense, in the sense that at least in the SouthLAnder 2021 competition, they have not had any games to come through, and maybe some nerves will be coming through for the players. And I'm interested to see how they will be approaching this first game, especially in terms of a draft and aggression perspective.
Yeah, sure. So both supports I want to focus on here both like the rail pick, and I don't think that's probably going to get through. So it's going to be interesting because they're going to have to go down in their pick order. A lot of support bands are going to maybe come through here. Be interesting to see what happens. They do have also very varying top lane styles. The Surrey top laner really likes to play Shen. If you look through his matches, he's really confident on that champion. Whereas the Bristol laner goes for far more aggressive, like Aatrox, Noah, and Camille, trying to win that lane, trying to be more of a selfish player. And so it'll be interesting to see how that sort of differences in the top lane ideologies work out for the teams.
You mentioned the Aatrox, Noah, and Camille, and when I currently think about the current meta, we are in patch 11.4. And I think about those top laner picks. What comes to mind is Aatrox, Nah, Camille, maybe Gragas. So those are three of the main four champions that are being picked in the top lane. Shen is, I guess, okay, but it's not quite that S-tier style champion.
No, we've seen it being pro play, and it hasn't quite done what you need it to do because it wants to be on that side lane. And if you just bully it through, you can either pick, as I said, an aggressive champion like Aatrox, Nah, Camille, or even just more like one that you want a free scaling on. You can go Yone if that's a champion practiced on, and just not really struggle too much in lane and get to the two items. And everyone knows Yone, two items, doesn't do much, hits two items, and it just hits like a truck. We saw yesterday with Fnatic playing G2. Whippo went behind, in fact, on the Yone, was really struggling to play it, and then hit two items and almost won his team the game with a really clutch dragon fight. Did end up losing it, though. His team just got one-way coming by the rail, and so it'll be interesting to see what they do.
The Yone could be a pickup, but you mentioned that rel, and we've seen it time and time again. You know, there's no one specific pro game that you need to look at. You could look at pretty much any pro game, and at some point in the game, you'll look and you'll see, that's why rel is a champion. That is why rel's being picked up in pro play. The Magnet Storm with a crash down on the Pheromancy, Attract and Repel. It's so strong, and one of the best pairings for the rel is this Kai'Sa, which I believe the ADC from, I want to say Surrey, but I think the Bristol ADC has been
Bristol
playing
does play a lot of it. Okay. Yeah, so of course, Kai'Sa loves to be with anyone who can get some like hard CC off, get her W passive stack, and get the ult away. And Rel is just so easy to play. It's almost like how Rakan used to be with when he could flash an ult and just run it down and jump in. Her combo is very strong. She's a tanky. She can build tanky as well. She can get a wave stepping further forward, looking for those engages. And so that really just puts into the wheelhouse of Kai'Sa then, because the Vel can go in, chunk them a bit, Rel, even though she's doing tanky, she actually can do quite a lot of damage, especially with the stuns she can put through. Really disrupts the team. And if you can get that in with maybe some good follow-up, maybe even a Yone, as you have been saying. I know the mid laner from Bristol does like to play that champion. Maybe even a Yasuo, he's been historically very good on the champ. And so that can be a disgusting combo if they can manage to get that synergy. Maybe it's been practiced a little bit and put it off.
Who knows? Maybe a Malphite in the lineup as well. Something else with knockups. It could all be coming through. We could be seeing some amazing wombo combos in the best of 3 today. Now, sorry, as we mentioned before, they've been able to make it to the finals. They lost it 2-1. They're going to be wanting to go literally one game better to be able to take the title. Bristol are this unknown quantity. What do you really want to be seeing coming through from Bristol to be able to take Surrey down right from the get-go, right from game 1, right from 10 minutes in?
So Bristol, they do have the skill difference looking at their just basic ranks. How that doesn't necessarily mean that they will be better in a team situation, communicating and get that macro down. So what I would be seeing from Bristol, knowing that they are the better players, they might try and pick very aggressive lanes and just try and win it early. Don't let Surrey scale. And then it becomes a bit more of who has the better comp and who's team fight and work together better. Just win individually very strongly, win your lane. And the more important thing is don't be getting caught by the jungler. If you're getting, you might be a better player, but if you're playing too aggressive and taking too many liberties, an easy jungler can flip that in your favor and then make it very hard, no matter if you're better. That goal leads that can come from a good jungler, some plates, herald early dragons can really screw you up and make it hard to convert a win.
Now, you brought up the rank discrepancies, and usually when we talk about tournament games and we bring up elos, it's something that I personally don't usually like talking about a lot because I feel that it's almost a bit of a disservice to the teams. But I feel in this case it is something that we can bring up because when you look at Bristol, the lowest ranked member is Diamond 2. Their jungler is Grandmaster. This is a very high elo team. But on the flip side, I want to talk about the importance of team synergy and something that we know Surrey has because we saw them in the finals last year. If you have that team synergy down, it can easily outweigh, a rank discrepancy. I've seen, plat teams being able to take down high diamond teams because they have that synergy. They're able to rotate effectively. They're able to communicate as a team, and they get the team fights done perfectly. So it's, when we do bring up these discrepancies, we're not saying, Surrey are out of this, but we know what Surrey can do from a team's perspective. And as you mentioned, KLO, Bristol need to make sure that their higher elo players don't get caught out by any ganks, by overstepping, etc., etc. We're going to pick some bans, and the Leona and the Viego are the first 2 bans to come through.
Yeah, for sure. So Minute for Bristol has been playing a lot of Viego. It's been some good on it. It's available this week, and that's why Surrey decided they don't want to deal with it. It can be quite hard if you don't really know the champion, and all of a sudden if you're ahead and Viego just ults you, it can feel really bad. Now, Bristol are taking away the Leona, knowing that they've gone through the matches. We've seen that easy game on that support is quite brutal, and it has been playing a lot of it. In fact, it's his best champion. Now, the Shenban as well coming through. They are seems to be targeting people's preferred picks, getting them off something they're comfortable on, and making them play something more meta.
But at the same time, while these are comfort picks for the players, these are all still very much meta picks. Maybe with the exception of Viego, not a champion that we've seen come through in pro play yet. But the Leona, the Vayne, the Senna, all high priority picks.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by the Vayne ban from Bristol, seeing as their ADC does seem to like it. So maybe they're like second pick or second go-to pick. So I would be taking maybe a Kai'Sa ban here from Surrey, trying to just get away. And they will go for the Aatrox, so just making sure their top laner doesn't get his priority pick. Now what is here is Seraphine is open and Skarner is open. But have this man will go for the Udyr. He's very good on the Udyr. It's his most played champion, and of course in the meta it is hard to beat it.
Udyr is super high priority in the meta. The other thing I did want to bring up is this Vayne is a known counter into the Kai'Sa, so maybe Bristol looking for that Kai'Sa pick for Hanabi for Benuxas that we were previously talking about, but you also highlighted the Seraphine as well, Kalo, and it is locked in for Surrey.
Sure, it's just an S tier pick as well, because especially in competitive drafting, this is actually, as everyone knows, is a flex. It can basically go anywhere and do well. It's a very strong champ and it's very good and allows your team comp to flex and rotate very well because it can facilitate a lot. It can go in for a team fight comp, or it can even go in for a poke comp and just sustain their team up and do well. They will pick the Sivir here. Yep, the Sivir is locked in. Civet is a proxy for Kaiser. They are deciding to take that away from the side of Bristol. A very smart move here.
And now the Jin looking to be picked up from Bristol. To be fair, I thought Surrey would pick up the Jin, considering that their ADC is called Lamborghini. It made sense, but the Jin will be going over to the side of Bristol, and we'll see what does get paired with it. The Rel is open, and that is what's being hovered at the moment for Bristol.
Yeah, it's a really smart pickup here. They've got some really STFX for the Uda and the Rel, and trading only off for Seth Kaiser. I think Bristol currently are winning this draft phase. And we'll see what Surrey decide to pick here. Nunu is a strong favourite of mine, just as I am a bit of a Nunu main. It can be an absolute menace to deal with. Even if your team's losing, you can jump over that Baron Pit wall, get the steal in. Oh, I'm heartbroken. So Nunu is the Alistair though, but that does mean the Seraphine won't be support. So likely it's going to be a mid lane Seraphine here. So what I'm expecting from Surrey here is a lot of mid lane bans, get that Seraphine in an easier lane so she can scale up and help the team win the game.
I'm surprised that Surrey actually showed what their flex was in the Seraphine before the second round of bans. I would have thought that they'd pull out the jungle or the top pick in that third rotation, or on their red 3 pick, so that they still had the flexibility open. Either way, the Alistair locked in. Twisted Fate banned away by Surrey.
Yeah, for sure. I would have also expected the jungle pick. I think the Surrey support was a bit sad to get these Learner banned away and just wanted a second pick of Alistair in there quickly before it could be taken away. So it might have been a situation of comfort over maybe what's best theoretically. So as you can see, the Olaf is banned. Olaf, we saw it last week, can be very strong, especially if he gets ahead, can absolutely 1v2. And they will ban casting away. They are, just, as I said here, going for those mid lane bans, trying to make sure they're surfing. It's an easy lane, doesn't have to sweat too much. See now what they pick up. I'm expecting a jungler here.
The Olaf and the Lilia bans I really like from the side of Bristol, because they're two what I'd like to call soft counters into the Udyr. Udyr can't CC down the Olaf, he can continue just running down whoever he pleases. And the Lilia is one of the few champions that can almost pretty much kite away the Udyr with the amount of movement speed that she can build up through her passive. There's a Warwick being hovered. I don't think he'll get locked in, but it has been locked in, and we'll wait and hear whether this is a placeholder, but we might be getting Warwick jungle here in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Warwick is one I would not expect. I guess it does help keep up with an Udyr clear once you get that tier map. However, it's not very meta, I think to say. There's Warwick is Hecarim. So of course, an S, probably I'll say like almost an S tier jungler at the moment, does do well into Udyr having the speed and helping your team get in, especially with the Civet. That horse is going to be very fast.
Rice now locked in, a champion that gets a lot of movement speed from the passive and can put out so much damage in a team fight. And when you look at the composition that the University of Bristol have drafted, this is a huge, huge team fighting composition. They can find the picks as well with the Udyr, and now we'll see what they want to be taking in the top lane. The Scion is locked in.
Yeah, I think the Scion's a great pickup here. You've got enough damage to the Rising Jin, and the Udyr, of course, will be doing a little bit more. So I don't think you have to go for damage top laner. So going for the Scion is smart here, allows the Rel to step up with him, get into that team comp and try and disrupt it very well. And just that front line, it's only really Civ at the moment that's going to be doing too much damage to it. And so she might be struggling here. So we'll be the top lane counter pick it. Going for the Volley Bear is a very nice pickup.
Sorry, the interesting thing that I wanted to bring up is that we've got this Volley Bear Scion in the top side. It's Gnar Scion on the top side. In fact, I'm glad that it's a Gnar, because now it kind of goes with my point even more than before, which was when we were coming into this game, we were talking about the top laners, and I can't remember if we said this on broadcast or just before we came on broadcast, but we were talking about how, I think it was the Surrey top laner likes to play these tanks, and the Bristol top laner would be expecting to see some more aggression from them. But we're actually seeing the complete opposite, with the Scion coming through for Bristol and the Gnar for Surrey.
Yeah, sure. The Gnar does very well into the Scion, just because of the range matchup and the health bonus he can get on his W. So it's a very understandable pickup for here. I would not expect to see this from the Surrey top laner. As I said, he is more of a passive sort of laner, it seems, from his champions. And so we'll be seeing the full pick ban here, where people in their right positions. However, yeah, I think Bristol, understanding he's got a large champion pool, and he doesn't have to win because he doesn't have to win his lane because his team can win the game safely. So they're going to get some of that pressure top lane, probably put their jungle pressure onto the bot side of the map, and see if they can get their bot in ahead. The Veil and the Jhin, that's a very easy gank setup for that Udyr. And it's going to be very hard for that Alistar and Kai'Sa to be able to get away from that if they burn summoners too early on.
And we talked about that team fight setup from this bot lane of the Jhin and Rel. The Rel just has so much engage. And I don't know about you, Caleb, but I look at the Bristol composition that they've drafted, and for me, you know, hands down, I think they've come out of this draft on top.
Yeah, Bristol's draft here is very well done. They've got their front line, they've got their damage. They've just got a very cookie cutter front to back fight they're going to go for here. And Surrey do have some good picks. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's all going to work together. If they can get the combo off, though, of a nice Seraphine ult into maybe a null Hecarim ult, it is going to be quite devastating and quite something for Bristol, because they don't. Their way to get into the fight is purely running. They don't really have a gap closer, bar just pure movement speed running in. And so if the Gnar, without a proper frontline from Surrey, like the Gnar isn't going to be the greatest. The Hecarim's going to have to stand up. It's basically be a lot on the Alistar pick, sort of zone away the team. It's going to be a bit tough, Surrey, if they get behind to actually deal with just getting run at.
I want to talk about this Alistar because the Alistar is a pickup as... didn't we have a Sivir?
Sivir was a proxy pick for Kai'Sa.
Oh, okay, cool. So we've got a Kai'Sa. Okay, in that case, see, you were bringing up the whole idea of the side of Surrey has to run at Bristol. And I was thinking, okay, but they've got a Sivir, so they can press R, they can run at them even faster. So that entire point's gone out of the window. So I'm going to switch over to another point, which is I want to talk about the Alistar, because Alistar to me is, I'm not going to say one of my favorite supports because that's Leon and Rakan, but he's nearly there as my favorite support. He's the best support for me when I watch League, because Alistars can do this really cool thing where they can find these insane flanks, and we've seen it a lot over the course of LEC. I think I saw it in 2 games yesterday. But they can find the flanks, and if they can find the headbutt onto a backline, and in this case, it would be Chentang on the Rise, or it would be Benuxas on the Jhin. That is a really great way to start a fight and deliver one of the squishy members to the side of Surrey. So we'll have to see, I feel, whether the Alistar and whether Easy Game GG on this Alistar will be able to find those engages.
Yeah, he has 2 options here. Of course, he will go for the Hex Flash. That is a really fun way to play Alistar. You can flash early and not really care about it, and then send that bush to keep Hex Flashing on cooldown. However, the main thing we have to look at is what keystone is he going to pick. He can go for the Phase Rush or the Aftershock. Looking at his team, he might need to go for the Aftershock so he can jump in and not get burst down straight away. However, the Phase Rush is much better for the lane phase. So we'll see what he goes for here, because it's going to be very tough for him if he doesn't go for the Aftershock to probably live. He has got, of course, the ultimate. However, with the Rise and the Jhin, he could get burst down if he isn't careful. He might end up doing a bit of it. So yeah.
I also want to say as well, because I said I think Bristol have come out on this draft on top. Now that I know that it's a Kai'Sa in and not a Sivir, I want to change that, because I actually really like the Surrey draft now, surprisingly. I think maybe they could have been a better pick than the Hecarim, but I think one of the differences that I noticed in the drafts, and let me know if you agree with this, Kalo, is the fact that the Bristol draft is very easy to execute, whereas the Surrey draft is much harder to execute. But if Surrey can execute that draft, then potentially they have the better chances.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. You've actually nailed it there. The Surrey team is very hard to engage. Is entirely got the Seraphine and the Hecarim to go in. The Gnar, it's always harder now to execute that up properly. Unless you can get a nice few auto-attacks onto that side of Udyr as they're trying to push you away, that would mean you get your rage bar up and then you can go in. Otherwise, you are waiting on the rest of your team to engage first, and then you be up that second wave of follow-up engage. But that follow-up engage, if hit properly, can actually destroy. But yeah, Bristol with Sion, Udyr, Rise, these are some of the easiest champs to execute in the game. And so even with their, as we were mentioning earlier, higher skill, that shouldn't really be too big a factor. It's more just, can they get that lane advantage? Can they get that CS lead? And see if they can help their jungler out, pressure out the Hecarim early.
Whenever I think about insane Gnar games, the one that comes to mind, or at least of very recent times, is Armut for Mad Lions on the Gnar against Fanatics last week, where he had an absolute standout performance. And as you mentioned, Kalo, it's all about making sure that you have that rage bar at the right point just before a fight. So that a fight doesn't start when you're about to drop out of Mega Gnar. A fight doesn't start when you've got no stacks. You need to be at the right point for when that fight does start. And going back to this whole idea of execution, Bristol have the easy to execute draft. Surrey have the harder to execute draft. But let's not forget that Surrey are the team that played in 2020. Surrey are the team that have proven themselves. Surrey are the team that have proven that they are already a team, that they're familiar with each other. They know what they're doing. Whereas Bristol, we've kind of brought in more as they're this high elo team, but do they have the team synergy? We haven't seen them in action yet. So maybe they do, but for all purposes, our viewers, we don't know what Bristol are truly capable of.
Yeah, as you say, I was just double checking. Last year when it was Surrey versus Southampton were the Bristol in the situation. They'd been given the bye due to their high-ranked players, but Surrey did take the 2-1 there. And in that third game, they were absolutely decimated. They picked a late team comp, but won the early game. And so they do definitely have the capability to beat higher-ranked players with their better team synergy, as they've shown it before. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do that again here.
Well, we'll see what will come through as we're about to make our way onto the Rift. Sorry, with the harder to execute team draft, your second place finishers from SouthLAnder 2020 taking on the newcomers of Bristol in their first season of SouthLAnder. We're in the quarterfinals. Neither team played in the round of 16, and just like that, we're greeted with a pause right as the teams are about to exit their bases.
Yeah, so you can see here, it seems both teams are split up, so we'll probably see a very safe game one, as is usually standard here. No team wanting to risk too much. Looking at the pause, I think it is side of Ekos on the Seraphine. Might not have loaded into the game as clean as he wanted to. So we'll be waiting on that one. However, look at the starting items here. Rise gone for a bit greedy, has gone for the tier. Very nice pickup now after the changes to him. Has really helped him out. But that will make him a little bit more squishy in the early game. Hecarim now has gone for the red smite though. Trying to get that extra damage. Being able to skirmish the Udyr will help him out, as Udyr will be a menace to him early if he can get some lane pressure.
And let's not forget as well that this Rise is going to become such a menace in team fights. So having the challenging smite available for Gadunica on the Hecarim is going to be so important, because you can massively impact the amount of damage that the Rise will be able to put in those fights. And I do want to talk about the Rise Seraphine matchup, because Seraphine is the control mage. I mean, she's a enchanter or enchantress support, as well as being that control mage, but she doesn't exactly have any huge tools to punish the Rise. So Rise and Chentang on this Rise should be able to just farm up relatively safely.
Yeah, I was saying that they've both from that tier, so they both sort of just seem to have gone for the agreement of, we're both just going to try and scale up here. There's not going to be much skill pressure in that lane. And so without that any AP, as you were saying, it's just going to be a bit more of a farm lane. Not expecting too much jungle pressure then there. I would be expecting a lot of it in the bot lane to be focused. As you can see, Udyr starting on that top side to path down to the bottom. Hecarim's here is going to start on his blue as well, it seems. So there will be going on opposite ways. So there will be split pressure here.
And you talked about it during the draft as well. The fact that Gadunica on this Udyr, he has so much gank set up on the bottom side of the map, courtesy of Nibble on the Rel, and of course you've got the deadly flourish from Benuxas. And with him starting on that top side of the map, we can expect to see that early gank towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm assuming the Hecarim will be paying attention. We'll see that Jhin and Rel have entered lane early, and that will give away Udyr's pathing as well. So we will expect Kai'Sa and the Alistar to probably ward early on, try and make sure they don't get caught up with this Udyr gank that's likely to be coming through onto them. So we'll see if they can get that information through. Seems now also Hurrier here, you see, he's not hitting the wave. He's trying to push into him a little bit. So probably looking for that Hecarim gank at probably towards 3 minutes. See if we can help him out. Starting maybe misplaying, in fact, trying to push it too hard. Maybe try and bounce it, go for a cheetah.
And we're already starting to see the effectiveness of Hurrier on the Gnar, having ranged into a melee matchup. Even though Efan wins the initial trade, it doesn't matter, because Hurrier's got more range and just pokes out Efan while Efan is trying to retreat.
Yeah, as I was saying in the draft phase, it seems that Alistar has gone for the phase rush, gone for the more lane-focused pickup here. Allows you, after you go for the combo, to run after them, get your E off, and then stun them. And that onto a Jhin is really nice. However, with the Rel here, it'll be interesting to see both of them just tanky engaged supports, see who can come out on top in this matchup.
I think the key thing to remember as well is that while Nibble is tanky, and Easy Game's not quite as tanky because sure, he's on the Alistair, but he's running Phase Rush, so he doesn't have the additional defenses of an Aftershock available to him.
Yeah, he's going to maybe struggle at points here in the lane, especially his level 2 can be strong, but he does want to hit that level 3 first before they try anything. As you see it, Heckham is going to the top. The Sun does not have the wave in a nice place. He's going to probably try and clear this out and then back, hopefully, knowing that the gank time should be coming through. It's 3 minutes 20, but he has got water. We'll see if Kenma can get this off. If he pops Ghost, he's probably dead.
Double buffs as well for Kenma, so he'll have the burn, the leap forward, a flash away from Efan. Is it enough? The Rager procs are coming in, a flash forward. It's damage, but not quite enough. And Efan will be able to survive, burning one summoner in return for Surrey's 2. Flash forward coming through from a Gadunica. Oh, the Rune Prison as well. And Chentang will secure first blood for the University of Bristol.
Yeah, it's quite. If you look at the ward there in that river from the surfing there, she warded the top side, but she should have known and she'd been committed to her that the Udyr was starting on the top side. And so because that bot side was not warded, Udyr managed to walk in there, get the gank off. Ekos still had his flash as well. So it's quite poor to die to that. Should have probably flashed there, got safety. Will TP back for the wave though, won't miss out on too much CS.
So, Kalo, about what we were saying with mid being, you know, no kill pressure, just a chill lane. I don't think University of Bristol see it that way.
No, I think they realised their bot lane pushing, they had to try and get into the top side. He has been double scuttled here, which is quite bad. As any jungler knows, it's not a good feeling.
Have to give kudos to the observers for that one. That is very nicely pointed out, and we actually saw Gadunica stepping up to be able to steal the scuttle on the top side, but Headbutt Pulverize coming through on the bottom side. The trample will connect. In comes the Hecarim. Benuxus will fall. Teleport coming through from Chentang. Look at the damage he is putting out. Easy game, easy kill for Chentang, but now he's in a 1v2 situation. Rice does damage, but he doesn't even have an item yet. Surely he gets taken down. Indeed he does, and Ekos making his way down just to see his rival mid laner getting murdered. 3 kills to 2 in favor of the University of Surrey 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, so again, the Benux on the Jhin there didn't use his flash early, didn't think the Alistair was going to be that threatening, and so does die as well. The TP there from Chentang on the rise, trying to save his team. However, he just couldn't get there quick enough. They'll try their best to like stall out, but it was not doing. Might see a dive here. Hurry up, already really low on the Snar.
Oh, this is evil from Gadunica. He's just proxy farming in favor of Ethan, so the wave is going to be able to crash in. And here they go, decimating smash, and Gadunica with the one tap picks up the kill, is level 6 as well. He's nearly double the CS of Kenma on the Hecarim.
Yeah, see there, Huria burn his flash. Oh, going in again.
Oh no, Chentang, he's being hit by the beat drop, and he will get dropped down. The high note comes through. Kenma picks up the kill, and it is a 4th kill of the game out for Surrey.
It's very bloody game. What's happening is everyone's been using their flash in aggressive ganks and they're being punished. We saw a top lane, Huria, flashing for that minute 3 gank, and then being punished on it after he gets traded into. The Visor flashed for that Seraphine kill early on, and now them knowing the timers have managed to run in there with the Alistair also following up, helping the gank off. And now that Visor is going to feel a bit sad. He TP'd bot, got killed, got 1 kill for it though, and then ran all the way mid to just get killed straight again.
Awesome to see so much aggression coming through. The gold pretty much dead on even, and we kind of asked, you know, again, I'm going to go back to that whole idea. The higher ranked team versus, you know, the more synergized team. Usually, in the early game, you would expect the higher ranked team to be able to find these advantages in the laning stage, but that's not the case. It's a super tight game, and I'm so glad to see that these two teams are on par with each other. University of Bristol now turn their attention towards the first Drake of the game. It is a Cloud, and it has been secured by Gadunica.
Seems that the Heckham is going to fight. It's a lot of damage from the Udyr.
Onslaught of Shadows comes through Gadunica. That's the trample through as well. Killer Instincts available. Flasher forward from Lamborghini to be able to secure 1. Deadly Flourish locks down Kenma. Flash away, and will be able to get the movement speed out to safety. Benuxus will survive. Just a 1 kill going the way of Surrey.
Literally, as you're saying that about better synergy, Surrey are moving better as a team. They are grouping up quicker. They're making the rotation much faster. And as such, they're winning these fights even after Udyr gets the dragon, makes the better macro play straight away. However, when it comes up to a team thing, Hecarim gets the Sky's Orb on, sees what's going on, and then runs in with his team. His team instantly follow, no strain, and that Udyr will then falls down, getting punished for taking that dragon a bit greedily. And so it'll be interesting to see how Surrey are going to play this properly, because they are just rotating and moving quicker. And if Bristol don't really realise what's going on, don't get the vision down to see this, they might continue to be punished.
We now have a 1,000 or 1k gold lead for Surrey, pretty much. But if you look at where that gold is, and if observers can just highlight the gold differences, take a look in the jungle and ADC role. That's a 1k advantage to Lamborghini. And despite the CS advantage that Gadunica had over Kenma, the gold is dead on even.
No, quick trade. That is the power of the Phasor. So it allows him to chase after Jin even with his move speed. But as I was saying, the Rise, though, is 800 gold ahead with those kills he got in the bot lane and that one-wave advantage. He is going to be a menace if he gets to his items properly. But yeah, all that gold on that Kai'Sa is going to benefit Surrey very well. It means she will be able to go through the Sign and Udyr's health bar much faster, getting those items earlier. But as you see it, Udyr is still going for that mid lane. He has got the flash, though.
Chilling Smite comes through, flashes her forward. The damage is unreal. Gadunica just slaps the Seraphine to death.
Yeah, the Seraphine thinking she was safe, knowing Vy's back, didn't expect the Gantt to come through. But Udyr there, knowing his power, knowing his speed, runs in there and just slays her down for another kill. She won't end up missing, I think, too much. Yes, TP will be up just in time, I think, on her respawn. We'll likely TP backside to catch that wave as Udyr now starts onto that Rift Herald.
Look bot side. The gank is being set up. The dive is being set up. This is a 3-on-2 scenario. Ecos has a teleport available and could potentially join in. Now, Easy Game and Kenma have not been spotted. Here comes the Hex Splash, and the focus is on the Jhin. Onslaught of Shadows, and it is an easy pickup for Surrey, but can they find one in return? Easy Game tanks up the tower shot, and Lamborghini picks up the second. 4-0 on the Kai'Sa now.
Yeah, I believe Bristol did have a hunch it was going to happen to them. Knowing that Udyr was topside, they probably should have backed away from that turret. They decided to risk it and stayed there, and then they did get punished perfectly. As we did. Alistair going first with the ult, can tank out the turret for ages, and they get both kills, in fact. One of them going over to the Kai'Sa and one going on to the Hecarim. Really going to put their lead up. They're going to go again, maybe first dive again. However, Seraphine has rotated. As we're saying, the rotations have been clean from Surrey.
Yeah, but Chentang is here as well, and the focus just goes on to Ekos. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Ekos tries desperately to help out his teammate, but it's a beautiful counter gank from the University of Bristol, and now they just focus in onto Huria. They pick up the kill as well. Rift Arrow will charge it forward. University of Bristol takes so much in this top side fight.
Yeah, after that Nara's Rage Bar went down there, he knew he was doomed. Mini Nara was not going to survive that dive, and as he was trying, Seraphine did rotate trying to help out his top laner, but just ended up losing more for it. The Vyse eventually did manage to move over, didn't use the Realm Warp, just walked over, and Seraphine then got caught out, got too close to Udyr once again and got run at. But now we see again more pressure into the bot lane.
Attracting Repel comes through. Voidseeker will be able to connect. There's a TP in behind the flash forward with a Ferromancy. Lamborghini is magneted in. A Killer Instinct away and the heal from a Lamborghini. Decimating Smasher flashed away by Easy Game. No kills will come through on the bottom side of the map. We do have a Drake in 26 seconds. And potentially Bristol will look towards securing their second Drake of the game.
Yeah, Bristol expending both TPs, probably trying to get this early Drake pressure and make that maybe their win condition here. They are struggling to move their team around as well as Surrey has, but they are winning the top side matchup. And winning the top and mid lane here might end up being good enough. They are losing the bot lane. However, the Jhin can just stand really far back. Rel's always going to have that utility. So being down in gold in the bot lane might not be is not the end of the world, but it's an almost 2k goal lead on the early carries.
And we're only 12 minutes in. A 2k goal lead between ADCs at 12 minutes. That is a huge discrepancy. But then again, it's nearly a 2k goal advantage for Chentang on this Rise. So the question becomes, who would you rather have in a team fight? A Rise or a Kai'Sa?
Yeah, you say it's what Huffco is best. It seems that now Hecarim, knowing that Udyr was taking Drake, might try and pressure onto the top lane. But San is super tanky. And even Nars is trying to trade into him properly.
Kenma playing the patient game, just waiting for Huria to crash this wave in. The Onslaught of Shadows is available, and here comes Kenma. Decimating Smash is going to be able to find his mark. Oh, great flash from Ethan to deny the devastating charge, and will be able to survive. Flash for Ghost trade between the top and the jungler.
Yeah, it's a great bit of skill there. He uses flash to flash over the Hecarim E, and before the CC comes through, he pops the ult. Of course, that makes him unstoppable and makes him easy to just run away. So all the pressure that Hecarim did spend a lot of time trying to get there doesn't really pet off. Does get the flash, but flash on a Sion isn't really going to do too much, especially when the Gnar isn't really got any more kill pressure on it. Then, the Sion now 800 gold in the lead. It's going to be just too tanky. No, we'll probably want to lane swap here, maybe just try and get some free CS.
Oh, this is Realm Orber coming through. Echoes has been CC'd down the Rune Prison as well. Surely nowhere to go. Flashes into tower range. Chilling Smite comes in. Gadunica picks up the kill. Devastating, Onslaught of Shadows comes out. But it's not enough to push Gadunica further into the tower. But more comes through. Devastating charge. Rune Prison picks up the slow Gadunica. Now it's just a jungle v jungle matchup. Who will come out on top? Oh, but Nibble is here. That is not fair. Bringing a support to a jungle fight. And Gadunica will secure the kill.
Yeah, as to one point out though is Udyr now, level 11. He's the highest level in this game as a jungler. He's been all over the place, just picking up lanes XP as well as all the neutral objectives. He's absolutely popping off here. 2 level difference onto the Hecarim. The Hecarim misses the Onslaught Shadows under tower. And so Udyr there able to just run away, and he carries on going for it. Almost gets the rise, but just can't convert. That level difference really playing into a big factor.
We were wondering when we came into this patch, how is the jungle going to change? Are we going to be seeing a lot more ganking coming through? And well, at least in this game, at least in game 1 of our quarterfinals here at the SouthLAnder 2021, we are seeing a lot of ganks. We have seen 7 kill participation for Gadunica out of 8, and we've seen 7 out of 7 from Kenma on the Hecarim for Surrey. So, a lot of ganks coming in, and the junglers have been a key part of this game.
Yeah, as you can see from their KPs, just absolutely getting their team the kills they need. However, they are pushing onto his buy-in again. Udyr, though, is going to know this is happening, is going to try and back his team up. No TPs on the side of Bristol, though, to counter this if it does go down. They will have the Gnar TP if he can get his Rage Bay up to maybe dive this. They are looking, maybe they're going to back away here, not knowing where the Udyr is.
The Surrey bot lane dive, round 2, Electric Boogaloo, because Gadunica is here, and it will become a 3v3. While all of this is going on, at the moment...
Hex Slash over the wall.
Oh, yeah, over the wall, and the collapse onto Chentang. Goodbye, Revenger for Ecos. And, well, it will bring the kills. A dead on even gold is still at 2,000 in the advantage of Bristol. But now, return collabs are coming through. Easy game on the run. Teleport now being dropped, and it will be with a home guard. Onslaught of Shadows comes in. Gets the fear onto Nibble. Beat drop, not going to be able to find his mark. In comes Huria on one side, but he's in a 1v2 situation as Gadunica takes a blast cone out to safety, and Huria is just still kiting down Effin and Nibble. 5 members of Surrey are mid and looking to push it through and secure the first mid lane tower of the game.
Yeah, right there, Bristol were trying to get something back. They were trying to punish Surrey's over-aggression into their jungle, but couldn't quite get the pick off. Get this TP out there, out the Gnar, can be quite big, especially the Herald now up. Minute on Dragon. See what they can do, because if Bristol gets there, they'll put him on Soul Point, and a Mountain Drake on a Sion. That's just going to be a bit sad. So see what they go for.
It's not just Sion as well. This is on Gadunica, and Udyr is still tank, and Nibble as well. Mountain Soul is going to be huge for the side of Bristol.
Yeah, it's definitely the Drake they probably would have wanted most here. So, see what they choose to go for. They are hovering around Herald, getting some vision control here. Udyr now going again for that invade into the Hecarim's jungle, trying to get even further ahead. Now, the goal leads are getting absolutely inflated. 2.2k on that mid lane difference. It's just going to be a very, very dangerous rise later.
I'm just trying to work out, where has Chentang picked up all of that gold from? Oh no, Gadunica going in again. He just runs in. Flash Bear Slap? Nah, Ghost Bear Slap. In fact, not even that, he doesn't even have a ghost. It's just, do towers not exist to bear men? Good flash away, Headbutt Pulverize comes through. Voidseeker will be able to connect as well. And that's going to be one going the way of Nibble and Bristol. And out comes the curtain call. Make that 2 for Bristol. Realm Orb coming in. Will this be a third? He brings in a horse to the party. 3 go the way of a Bristol. And Deadly Flourish will lock down Lamborghini. Does Effen want to go for this? He doesn't have the Unstoppable Onslaught available.
Oh, no.
Oh, Gadunica all the way from the top side. He's just flying from one side of the map to the other. The jungle is a place for bears. The tower has been destroyed. Bristol reclaim, or they already had the game lead, but they extend their advantage over Surrey.
Yeah, Hecarim, they're seeing the aggression for the leader on the top side, thinking he can go for that ball and play. The overchase, the TP comes out from the rise, and Bristol is able to turn it. This will now be sole point for Bristol here. All the way at 18 minutes. This is going to be very bad for Surrey here if they can't stop these rates going down. They are just going to lose it. They are now looking towards the Rift Herald to see if they can get a quick trade-off. However, it's not looking great. That was an absolutely great collapse though from Bristol onto the Surrey overextension. Gets the kills, gets the shutdown as well. That was a 5-0 Kaiser. Now that shutdown gone. And
so the encore onto Chentang. Beat drop as well. Surely Chentang can't get out. No, he cannot. Kenma picks up the kill. Sorry, get 1 in return. Okay, let's break this down then, Kalo. Currently, Bristol, 12 kills to 9. A 4,000 goal lead, or 4,500 goal lead. 3 Drakes to nothing. How do Surrey get back into this game, and is this Rift Herald the answer?
The Rift Herald might be allowed to crack it. They haven't yet got a turret, so that will allow them to relieve some pressure if they can get it down. However, it's not necessarily the end of the world for Surrey. A lot of that gold is onto that Udyr. It's unfortunately, though, it's also on that rise. The Udyr gold, as it is building tank, wants to be the end of the world, and they might be able to come back from it if they can just push him away. Kaiser, they can just run away, or use the Seraphine and Alistair to get him away from their Kaiser, get away from that Seraphine. So in that respect, it's not that bad. Especially when you've got all that gold on that Kaiser and on that Hecarim, you might be able to turn it in a team fight if you can get Rich kite properly and get your damage out and your carries alive. However, they are now they're still losing the top side matchup, and that is going to be very bad after the man finishes Stormwell. There will be nothing to snipe and even top from the side.
Now, something I do want to bring up is look at Gadunika's items. He's got 2 items completed, and he's also got a Dark Seal as well. Man wants to run fast. Chilling Smite locks down Ecos. And the Seraphine, well, her stage presence is diminishing. Headbutt Pulverize, Killer Instinct coming through. Is there the damage onto Gadunica? Yes, there is. Shutdown going the way of Lamborghini, and it will be a 1-for-1 trade on the top side of the map.
Yeah, that last person you want to get that 500 gold shutdown is the Kaiser. That Kaiser now is going to be absolutely huge. 6 kills, a lot of Shango good onto her. She has now finished the Collector. She will now be absolutely destroying anyone who steps into her path. The Nana will also be able to get to for free on the bot side of all that pressure top. And it's the Udyr might have gone for the speed build, but he was speed running it there.
Surrey are bringing this game back. If there are any Surrey fans in the chat, I think you need to spam something to help Surrey. I don't know, spam some furries to help Surrey. Does that work? Is that right? I can't think of anything else. But Surrey, give your team some support. Or pardon, wait, what am I thinking? Surrey fans, give your team some support because they need it. 4k goal down, but we have seen Lamborghini picking up the kill. 6-0. 3 items completed on the Kaiser. He's got the Last Whisper. He's got that Armor Shred potential against Gadunica, against Effen, against Nibble.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. They are seeing ward this into this bot side. Try and make sure they get this pressure onto the Drake and don't lose it. Because Dragon Soul going down this early is going to be very hard to deal with. But now they are seeming to focus almost nay-ramming it here. Getting into this jungle. Huri now has, with the TV though, is grouping with his team, trying to make sure they don't get collapsed on. But we are now...
No objectives for another 1.5 minutes. That's when the Drake is up. 1.5 minutes time. That's when Surrey need to start stepping forward and gaining control over the bot side river. For now, there is no exceptional urgency. Teleports available both for Ekos and for Huria. Effen doesn't have his teleport available for a while. Same goes for Chentang. So, Surrey could potentially look to play the 1-3-1 for now.
Yeah, so they have got probably, I think, maybe 20 more seconds on that Rift Herald. That's why I think Kemmer is hovering here, trying to get that top lane turret down. Which be Oh, hurry now, get engaged. Hecarim turning maybe to not go in just
Kenma
yet.
is here, and Kenma can look to turn going in on Chentang, but look at the damage output. Onslaught Shadows will be able to find the fear. Nibble turning up to make this a 3v2 scenario. Magnet Storm, Attract and Repel. The Gnarl is clean, but it does absolutely nothing. Bristol find 2 more kills. The beat drop, the encore, in comes Surrey, but the teleports are being channeled from Bristol, and Bristol will run rampant, and Bristol will destroy Surrey where they stand. Shutdown going over to Effen, and that is the ace. That's the double kill for Chentang. Bristol will take the fight with 5 kills for nothing. Forget the Drake, they're going straight to Baron.
Yeah, that was insane. The Hecarim there trying to just shadow his top lane, try and help him get that push in. When the Vice ulted in, he thought, oh, it's only going to be a 2v2. When the rest of Bristol show up, get that rotation down, and manage to actually turn it. The Kai'Sa not able to get there quick enough. Just try to get as much damage as she could, but not enough. All her frontline died way too quick. She tried to turn it, almost got a few kills down, but was not there. We'll see the TP coming through here to make sure they secure this Dragon Point.
Chentang getting off the reset, has his own use Hourglass, and Gadunica will spot out Kenma, but Kenma, he's playing Horsey Assassin in the brush, but is it enough? Oh, Gadunica has been spotted. There's a blast going. Can Gadunica get to it? He can, but Huria will be able to follow. The Drake has been secured. That's Mountain Soul now for the side of Bristol, and it will make things even harder for Surrey to win a fight. The boulder toss comes through. Nibble being hunted down by Easy Game, but Bristol secure the Drake and will be able to escape unscathed.
Yeah, as you say, that it's now so point, and they didn't manage to get a pick off, so Bristol still have all 5 members with that Baron buff on. We'll see if they go try and just run it down now, or go for a 1-3-1 with the Vise and the Sign in the side lanes. But now, see, we'll have a reset here from Bristol, see where they decide to go. They are seem to focus on this mid lane here. Hecarim just trying to get any sort of camps he can. There will be a small wait here, as I believe we get the items in.
Something that I do want to bring up for the side of Surrey, and something that could be, you know, a ray of light, a silver lining during their dark times in Game 1. Ekos has a Moonstone Renewer, but he does not have the Staff of Flowing Water. He's getting close to it, and that could be a big spike for Surrey in any upcoming team fights.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get it there and execute on it. He is just so far behind on this Vice, and the Vice is huge now. 3 items completed, 8 stacks on that Dark Seal. He is an absolute monster, and it's been very hard for side of Surrey to get onto him. They do the Hecarim ult to try and get in with the Alistair, but if he Vice just steps back a bit, kites it out, he's just going to not go down with a fight. They are now pushing onto the spot side with a Baron buff.
And just for... Oh, is this going to be the collapse from Surrey? Gadunica is showing up. And Huria is forced to dash. Gnarl comes through as well from Huria. So Gadunica right now, he's got 9 stacks on his Dark Seal. He's got plated steel caps. He's got a turbo chem tank to run at people very fast. He's got a dead man's plate which allows him to run really fast. And if people if people hit him, he has a force of nature to run away from them really fast. So no matter if he's just running, if he's running at you or running away from you, he's running very, very fast.
Yeah, he's been running for super fast. The Seraphine has PTSD from all. Oh, they're all going
Flash
in.
Coming in goes Easy Game. That will be the encore, but it doesn't really connect onto anyone. Huria takes so much damage, and in the back line is the is the Hecarim. Kemba trying desperately to buy time as everyone else goes on to Effen. Chentang is here. Chentang will find a 1. And it is just too easy for Bristol. They find 2 for nothing. Curtain Call comes through. Ekos is practically running it down at that point. And here comes Realmor to deliver the rest of Bristol in. And Bristol will find the 4th. It is only Lamborghini who is left standing. The inhibitor towers are falling. Bristol will be marching it on to the Nexus. Game 1 will surely go their way. And it would need an absolute miracle from Lamborghini. In fact, a miracle wouldn't be enough to keep Surrey in this game, as Bristol collapse onto the Nexus towers. Easy Game has respawned. The final Nexus tower will fall. And the University of Bristol, first they'll pad their KDA slightly, and then they will turn to the Nexus. Wait, no, they want to pad their KDAs more. Give 2 more kills over. But Uxus goes on to a rampage. Kai'Sa falls as well. The Nexus go down, and Bristol takes game 1.
Yeah, that was as they're trying to get a Hail Mary play in there, they had to go for that fight. That was the correct time to try something. They didn't fight then when. So I'm not sorry they made the right decision trying to get something there. Asa did in fact get the headbutt back onto Jin, getting back towards his team. But the Scion and Veil frontline was just too tanky and too oppressive for the Kaisen, etc., to step up. And so Jin wasn't punished there, didn't get taken down. And in the end, everyone fell. I said, Ekos there, probably just saying go next. It was not having that Seraphine getting continuously ran out by the Udyr. Probably felt absolutely powerless to stop it.
I mean, he was powerless to stop it. I mean, we can say, oh, Ekos 0-8 by the end of the game, or 0-9, but he couldn't do anything. Rise just what? Oh. Does a Q, EQ, and then gets phase rush, runs at Ekos, stuns him down, and then an Udyr comes out of nowhere and slaps Ekos to death. So, surely for game 2, put Ekos on something a bit safer, something that can hold its own in mid lane.
Yeah, I think he saw the tier list, saw Seraphine hype there, thought he could get it down, but it does struggle to kite for itself. It's such a squishy champion, and we saw that very much there. You might maybe go for a Vlad pick, just something that is more comfortable to him and something that means he can run away. Because that was just a bit sad. Maybe in Azir maybe shuffle the game away. But yeah, I don't think he's going to really see Seraphine next game.
I want to see an Azir, and I think Ekos, once he gets a champion, an actual champion, not Seraphine, I think he's going to pop off. I think Ekos is going to be MVP of game 2. Either way, I think MVP of game 1 was definitely Gadunica on that Udyr. We're going to be throwing to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll break down the game in a bit more detail, as well as looking forward and jumping on in to game 2 and potentially the final game of the day. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to jump on in for game 2 of the day. As, well, for those of you who missed out on game 1, essentially, Gadunica, the jungler for Bristol, was like a very energetic pup. And he was just running everywhere. He was like, do you need me now? And then just running over to the other side of the map. Do you need? And just like literally going everywhere and just like murdering everyone at the same time. An absolutely fantastic performance from him. And KLO, surely that Udyr ban is the first thing that's going to be coming through from Surrey.
Oh, so that Udyr was an absolute nightmare. He went for his full Mooseed build, and as you're saying, just ran all the way across. He was top lane, and then you'd run bot lane, and it was just disgusting to see. I think the middle is got some PTSD about Udyr just running in his streams tonight. However, yeah, that Udyr pick has to go. It's already just an ST pick in itself, and you can see that the Bristol player, one of his favourite champs, and so that made it even worse for Surrey. So we expect that ban to come through. I don't think Surrey will be picking up Seraphine again. That game was a bit PTSD for him. I think he would probably go to maybe with a zero of Vlad, something he was comfortable in, something he can have a bit more control of himself peeling.
Now, while we could say game 1 was a jungle diff, maybe you could say mid diff as well, Chentang being absolutely huge on the rise. That is not to say that Kenma played badly. Kenma played fantastically well. He was probably the best or second best member of the team after the Kaiser Lumberjin on the, or Lumberjini on the Kaiser. So it was a fantastic performance from both the junglers. But as we mentioned, I think it was about 15 minutes in. It was 7 kills to 8. 14 of those 15 kills, both junglers had been a part of. That's how important the jungle matchup was, and that's how active both junglers were being as well.
Yeah, Larry was being really smart. Sorry, Kemmer was being really smart on that Hecarim. He would see that you did ganking top, pressuring top, and knowing that was a lost cause, trying to get himself up to that top, would immediately make a play on that bot side. We saw the dive, getting the double kill onto the Jhin, and that was just very well played by him, realizing he has to win it, but how he didn't convert that into Drakes, into towers. And that's where the goal difference started to happen. Also, Udyr was then, after ganking top, or before ganking top, was taking away the Hecarim's jungle. And that was when the Hecarim slightly behind. There was a 2-level difference at one point when he went for the dive under the mid lane turret. And at that point, even though you are getting those kills, that two-level difference lead and that goal difference is really going to make you struggle to even compete against that Udyr as the Hecarim. It was a massive gap. Even though he was playing well, doing what he should be doing, the Udyr was just taking those extra advantages each time, and that just built up and built up until eventually the Hecarim couldn't deal with him.
And I remember when Bristol were able to secure that first Drake, and then Surrey came in and we were able to win the fight, and we were thinking, oh, we've got a game on our hands. And then right after we said that, Bristol then just started winning every single fight that came through from that moment onwards. But I want to look towards the Ekos. On the Seraphine in game 1, it left a lot to be desired. In fairness, there wasn't much that he could do, but I think you and I and probably our viewers at home probably want to be seeing Ekos on something more aggressive. And I think Ekos can pop off if he does get a more aggressive pick, something that's more of a champion than Seraphine.
Yeah, he didn't quite get a chance. He got, I think, level 4 ganks into that Rise. Didn't get off too well. Rise and TV bot got a free kill. And so he was just put down quite early on anyway in that matchup. And the Rise sort of just never took his foot off the gas, kept going. And Seraphine was not happy. As I said, that as you have been saying, the Vlad or the Azir pick likely probably going to come out from Ekos on that mid lane, trying to give himself some more autonomy, allow him to go into side lane a bit, and not get run down by the jungler again. It'll be interesting to see how the teams adapt. Surrey early on were looking like they're a better team. They were communicating better, they were getting their rotations in, and they were helping the jungler out more. However, after the first few turrets fell, Bristol got it together. They realized how to move with their experience and managed to actually beat Surrey at their own game of rotating through, as we saw in that bot lane when they went very hard onto the Jhin. Jhin managed to get away, and then they got collapsed on by everyone. Even the Udyr running from top lane all the way to the bot lane tier 2, trying to just get that kill onto the Kaiser.
I mean, it was absolutely crazy, to be honest. He was topside, and then 10 seconds later, he was down bot, murdering a Kaiser at the back end of another fight. Either way, we are in to pick some bans. The Viego is taken away. But again, Kayla, I'm so glad you mentioned the whole idea of rotating, because we talked about it at the start, or before we got into game 1. How good would Bristol's macro be? How good would their rotations be? And it was on point. It was so clean. And they look, I mean, they're not necessarily a new team, but they looked so good together.
Yeah, as you can see from the prefix on some of their names, these players have played before in their new games, and so I do have at least some synergy between them all. And it seemed after they were able to get the shots down and then those three start mixing, that's when they got their rotations down, got the communication better, and showed Surrey how to actually rotate. See, they're very similar, same bands from the first game here. The Viego, Aatrox...
No, sorry! The Rel wasn't the issue, it's the Udyr!
No, I think the Veil here is very strong pickup. They didn't want to face it. It was making it very hard for the Alistar to get through. Now, I'm very surprised they didn't value it. It wouldn't surprise me if Bristol here either take it on red 1-2, or if Surrey here just take it straight away to just take it off the table.
I'm just going to say, if Surrey don't take Udyr first pick, Bristol up on the game. I'm just going to say that straight away. If that is not Bearman, Surrey have lost.
There we go.
Yes!
Say,
Good job, Surrey.
Good job, Surrey. This is how you have to do it here. They did take away the pick. It's been obvious. If it's a fasting center, I'm going to be really sad. Or the home center.
No. Okay.
Side of Bristol here, they're going to try and show Echoes how to play the Seraphine here. See if they can do it. That is still a flex here. It could be support Seraphine or mid lane. See where it goes. I'm suspecting support, because I think Cheng Tang, looking at his match attitude, is a bit more of an aggressive player, wanting to go for those kills. So I don't think it's going to be on him. So I would expect Nibble to pick this up.
Is this Sivir going to be a placeholder for the Kai'Sa once again for Surrey? I have a feeling so. It is, because Lamborghini was so good. But on the other side, if you want a composition that can run at people very fast, Udyr, Sivir, and if this is a Yuumi as well, that is definitely we're going to run at you really fast and murder you.
I really hope this is what it is, because as you were saying, that is a run at them comp. Udyr, as for last game, is very tanky. With Yuumi on top, it's even possible, but no, it will be the Alistar getting here from side of Surrey. Liking it last game, it was doing well in that bot lane, helping to get those jungle ganks off. And so same again here.
So, Sivir Alistar. You're not going to be able to get onto a Sivir Alistar bot. A lot of safety on the bottom side of the map. So I do want to see something aggressive in one of the lanes that Surrey can try to play around. And I still want it on Ekos or Ekos. No, what am I saying? Ekus? Ekus.
I'll find out later.
The mid laner.
the mid lane, yeah, we see the Olaf. It seems that Bristol on Gadunka does love to just go fast and run at people. So same again for him, same sort of playstyle I would expect. Trying to get those early Drakes maybe and get his team off to a good start. Now, we'll be interested to see how this matchup plays, because Udyr into Olaf, as you were saying in the pre-broadcast, is a tough matchup for Udyr, as he can't really stun him and Olaf can just kite him away. But it is very much going to be tough to see how they play it. It's going to come down to skill. It looked like Gadunka last game was just outplaying him in the early rotations in the jungle, getting the better pathing, as he managed to double scuttle. See if he can do it, if he gets double scuttle this time. We try to see that happen again.
No. Hurria's Gnar has been banned. He pulled out the Gnar in game 1. Kennen banned as well. And to be honest, I wouldn't want a Kennen running really fast, courtesy of a Sivir ult. And then slicing, maelstroming me. The Scion taken away from FN2. So both, or I should say all 4 of the final bans are targeted towards the top lane.
Yeah, Huria has been looking at his match quite good on the Kennen. Is one of his nice picks. I'm just saying, if that is with the Sivir, that is going to be quite a nasty combo to run into. So they do start to take it away, play it safe. I'm expecting a top lane pick here. Yep, allowing that flex to still sit, deciding if they're going for that Seraphine in support or to the mid lane. Darius is, of course, an aggressive top laner, so kind of expect from FN here to pick up the Darius. See what Huria will respond with. See if he's going to pick maybe another tank into it. It won't be the best thing. But Brand is now being hovered. Might be what Ekos goes for, trying to get some more damage down.
Will it be locked in? It is locked in. So Brand mid for Ekos. And, well, I've not seen a Brand mid in a very long time. So let's see how Ekos is able to perform. Final pick then will be in the top. And Brand is Karma. No! Unless it's Karma top. I want to see Ekos on a pop-off champion. And Karma is not a pop-off champion.
Once again, the Yuumi is actually Alistar for the person in chat. However, yeah, the Brand being Karma, that does allow a lot of flex here. It might be Karma top. Ooh. That will be interesting to see here. It does allow it to kite the Darius out and not get caught, but the Darius is, I'm guessing, going to be running Flash Ghost. If there's get an early gank off, burn the Karma's Flash, that Darius for the next 5 minutes will just be running at her continuously, and it might be an absolute nightmare to deal with. Will he go for the Rise again here? Did very well last game, as everyone who was here would have known. He does end up locking it in.
And arguably, the Rise is going to have even more safety than it did against the Seraphine, because while Seraphine has some roots, Corki doesn't really have anything to set up a gank. Both mid laners are just really going to want to be farming up. But again, still for Chentang on this Rise, he does have that potential gank set up for his jungle.
Yeah, so actually in that mid lane, both what they're going to do is they're going to want to farm it up, get to maybe 6, maybe level 8, and then run to their side laners when they hit 6. Because you've got the Corki package and you've got the Rise ultimate and the TPs coming through. It's going to be very easy if they can partner up with their jungler to have an absolute party. Probably in the bot lane here, not really wanting to gank with the Karma onto the Darius. Darius might have to turn that. So maybe the Karma gets focused. Maybe the bot lanes get hard focused here. Interesting to see. So it was I think it was Sivir, Alice in the bot lane, very safe pickup. Allows him to run fast, especially with that Udyr. So there's a lot of ways that they can play this. It's going to focus on, can these mid lane roams come off correctly?
You've got a Sivir, you've got a Corki, you've got an Udyr, you've got a Karma. They don't walk into a bar. They run at Mach 5 into the bar and destroy the bar. But that being said, it's Karma, and for anyone out there who knows me, they know that I absolutely detest Karma in solo lanes. And we have a Karma in a solo lane. So, I don't know, what do you think of it, Kalo, matching up into the Darius?
I'm not a fan of Karma mid, but Karma top I quite like, because there's a lot of variations you can go. Most probably just in the current meta, going to buff that Sivir up and just make sure the Sivir doesn't die. However, it'd be interesting to see if it goes through to a tank Karma, just try and be really oppressive, see what they go for, because I'm not familiar with current items that Karma might be going for here, so it'd be interesting to see what he decides to go for. But yeah, as you know, they are just locking their picks, showing where everyone is going. So yeah, as we were saying, that Seraphine was a flex, but Nibble will be picking it up. Has been shown on his match that he's quite good on it and has been well practiced on it. So we'll see if he can show Ekos how to actually play it into its full extent.
Playing into a Corki Sivir, this feels like definitely a, what are they called? Plated steel caps game for the members of Bristol. But that being said, there are still 2 big damage sources coming through from the side of Surrey in the form of this Corki and Sivir, and yes, they've got the Karma to buff them up. But we've already mentioned how you have this order that can't get CC down by the Udyr. You do have a fair amount of zone control coming through from the side of Bristol. Senna has a lot of range, can be throwing out those, I forget what it's called, the W, and locking people down. And Seraphine has so much range, it's so hard to approach her.
Yeah, I'm sad to see the Siren ban out, so we would not be able to see the Senna Siren combo, because that can always be a fun one, especially if Bristol were well practiced in it. But as you're saying, the zone control they do have is going to make it a little bit hard for them to get run at, because like, if anyone's trying to run at Senna, that W just seems to have a huge hitbox when it shouldn't, and so that will lock into them, will slow down the Udyr, will get stunned. But as you're saying, the Sivir Karma Udyr, that's just going to be a nightmare to deal with. Senna hasn't got an escape, and so if they can't really, not much pill to get him off, and that could end up being very dangerous for her. See if it could be technically also a fasting Senna of Seraphine taking the farm. There's multiple options for what they can go for. I doubt it, but it is a way they can go.
So I want to look towards the junglers again, because game 1, I feel that we got slightly caught out, or at least I felt like I got slightly caught out by how much aggression we saw from the junglers and how many ganks they were involved in. So I want to look to game 2, and I really want to focus on our junglers of Kenma and Gadunica, and have a think about where we're expecting to see them. Are we going to be seeing any focus really towards the mid or bottom lanes, or are we going to be seeing a lot from Gadunica trying to punish this Karma pick?
Yeah, looking at last time, Gadunica I think will be focusing on that Karma to begin with. The Seraphine lane isn't really one that's going to be too fun to gank for. However, with the Darius, I'm going to hope it's Ghost Flash from Darius, going for the full aggressive summoners here. The Karma, especially early game, won't have if she's going tanky or maybe more AP, the move speed to get away properly. And that could be quite a snowball effect again, as we saw in game 1, of just FN winning that top lane and carrying on. However, it's going to be tough to see because Olaf might try and start on the opposite side of the UD, make sure we can at least get one scuttle. We're interested to see how it goes. Corki, of course, isn't going to be the best to get too much lane power, but is going to survive, so we'll be pushing in a little bit there. We'll be able to go with that UD, try and see if he can cause some mayhem in that jungle against the Olaf.
He could try to get into the jungle of Olaf, and of course we know that Udyr, when it comes to 1v1ing in the jungle, pretty much nobody can match him, so definitely a thought for Kenma. But on the whole, for the side of Surrey, and maybe for Bristol as well, it's a lot of scaling, especially in the mid and the bottom lanes. They just want to scale, get to, usually I'd say 3 items, but to be honest, they probably just want to get to 6 items, get a full build, and then say, okay, now let's fight and let's see what happens.
Yeah, but as you're saying, both gone quite scaling, going for the late game there. The Karma, Corki, Sivage, trying to get to their items, get it all buffed up. That Karma, I'm guessing, is going to be a more supportive Karma, so it is going to be on that Corki and Sivir to do the damage here, get it through, which can be quite dangerous because they've got the Rise, Olaf, and Darius, probably all just gunning for them. And it's going to be a lot of pressure on Alistar on that, trying to get it through, trying to make sure they can peel, get him away. But I think, looking at the team comp, it's fairly easy to execute. Champs aren't too complicated, not too many skill shots to deal with. Despite, as we were saying before the games, that there is a technical rank difference, I don't think there's going to be too big an issue here. So being very smart on how they pick this.
Well, the Seraphine did lose out in game 1. We'll see whether Bristol can make the Seraphine pick work out. The rise, of course, for Chen Tang was pretty huge and was able to secure Bristol that win. Let's see if they can make it 2 from 2. Whether the Udyr, now picked up by Kenma, will be able to turn favour in Surrey's way. Surrey, of course, last season were able to make it into the finals, and now backs against the wall on the verge of dropping out in quarterfinals.
Yeah, let's see if for that, when it all counts, they did always win their games 2-1 leading up to the finals. So maybe they just, lost the first one to make sure they can win the 2, make sure they can get that 2-1 win. So see what they can do here. They will, of course, have to win this to stay in the tournament. Bristol now, with their team comp, can take a bit more risks, as they saw. Might be able to just see what can go on here. They probably don't want to give away too much of their strategies. That might be something they're saving. Might be reason why we're not setting some of the picks we might expect. But it should be a very interesting game, to be sure.
Well, I mean, if you lose the first game and then you win the next 2, that's technically a clean sweep, right?
Yeah, you won 2 in a row, straight away. Yeah. Easy. Now we'll see.
Easy clap.
Bristol are gripping up, trying to get maybe a deep forward, maybe a late invade in here. Seeing what they can do. Olaf has gone the sweeper, indicating they might go for that invade.
Both mid laners as well, starting with the tier. Both junglers will be going the chilling smite route, not the challenging smite. So, all about the slows in this game, which, to be honest, when you're playing against comps that kind of want to be running at you, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, see how long this Alistar waits here. Because I wouldn't surprise me if Kanuki goes for the late invade, tries to steal away the red buff, knowing that the Udyr is light sight on the top side. Be quite a good play, especially if you can get the Wrap Temp as well. And if you can get away with it without Kemmer knowing, and Kemmer runs his bot side, that is going to ruin the Udyr's day. But it seems that Kemmer is coming for this red buff. No wards out on the side of for this possible late invade.
And it would go the way of Bristol as well, because Nibble is on a Seraphine, and Easy Game GG is on an Alistar. And I know I'd rather have the Alistar, but this is going to be a 2v3 situation. The ward has been dropped. It will just be Poker coming through the high note. Easy Game already down to half HP. Guardian comes through and now challenging on the red buff. Smite down, flash forward. The focus is coming through. Pulverize, Nibble taken down low. Gets it healed up. The high note coming through as well. He'll come through from Lamborghini, but it's too little too late because Gadunica has already found one. Picks up a second, healing, flash away. The auto comes through. Is it enough? There's a burn coming in. Chen Tang picks up the kill on Lamborghini. And Gadunica is 2-0-1. He gets the red buff as well. And Bristol come out on top.
Yeah, as you saw there, Gadunica going for that Wrap Temp, trying to rush his level 2 first. Ends up running then into the fight. Seraphine flashing over the wall, managed to live for much longer. And with the Seraphine and Senna just healing up there, it was very easy for them to sustain through that fight, wait for the Olaf to get there. And once the Olaf's there, that level 1 to level 2 fight is going to be very easy for that Olaf to win. He's just going to be healing up, life stealing. Doesn't manage to pick up the axe after his first throw, but does get the damage through. And the Vise there does follow up, does burn Flash to get that kill. So that would be a very nice start for Bristol, and they'll be very happy with that late invade.
I'm scared to see how much gold Gadunica has. I'm genuinely scared. Oh my god, that's not...
That's illegal. That's double. That should be allowed.
It's triple! He's got triple the goal of Kenma 3 minutes in.
Oh, that's... You hate to see it, because as you saw, Gadunica last time knows how to use his lead. LFM going in now for the little trade. He's doing a lot of damage here, making sure he can push his lane in. Might hopefully go for a cheater recall here, as he's pushing that wave in. Won't need to use that TP if he can do that.
Benuxis and Nibble just shoving the waves on into Lamborghini and Easy Game GG. And Gadunica has been able to secure his top side Scuttle Crab. Kenmo will secure his bottom side Scuttle Crab, so this time Kenmo will not get double scuttled, as Benuxis and Nibble are showing no intention of roaming up to contest it. Speed drop comes down, locks on to Easy Game GG. Last Embrace comes through as well. And Gadunica is going to be banking, and I have a feeling that there is an Iron Spike Whip and probably some boots coming through as well.
Yeah, he's going to have... He's had an absolute payday, and so we'll be very happy to back here. Dasta had gone for the cheater recall, as you saw there, has gone back and bought boots and a longsword. So we'll come back to lane with an item lead, allowing him to maybe play a bit more aggressive. Also, as you saw there, did get chunked down quite a bit, but still has 2 biscuits here, so we'll likely heal up, and with his passive won't be in too much trouble. Let's see
it. Ekus just trying to trade back into Chentang, who is now low in the HP department. Chentang does have teleport available, so can look to back and TP back to lane if he feels that that is necessary.
Yeah, he's probably going to TP here. Looks like Ekos is just freezing that wave in front of his million turret. LamG now just absolutely like trying to 1v2 his lane here, trying to push it in, get some poke down on some. Very hard though against Seraphine Senna to do any real meaningful damage, as they are just going to heal a lot of it up. But no, we'd like to push this wave and try and reset here on this wave.
Actually interesting, Chentang has not gone for the last chapter first. He's actually picked up his sorcery boots straight off the bat, so there's going to be some magic penetration coming through from Chentang, and some movement speed, which should help him try to kite away Kenma in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, we'll allow him to run through here. However, they are now starting up this Drake. They have vision control. Their Lamborghini didn't get the reset off, I don't believe. Will he? No, he hasn't got the reset done yet. So he's sitting on a lot of gold. He's now just going to farm it up. Yeah, to 400 gold. He's just waiting, I think, for a little bit more so he can get a healthier back. But yeah, this will be the Dragon going onto the side of Bristol. The Kenma not wanting to miss anywhere near this Olaf. He, as you said, has got that Iron Spike, and it's just going to be an absolute monster to try and deal with.
And unlike in Game 1, after Bristol are able to secure the first Drake, Surrey are unable to find a fight in their favour. And now, Gadunica hovering over this bottom side of the map. Easy Game down to half HP, so a dive could come through, but even though Gadunica is strong, I don't think he's that strong. Kenma, though, looking at mid. The Rune Prison comes through, and that's a phase rush. And courtesy of those Sword Boots, Chentang's able to kite back so easily.
Yeah, he is fast, and Ekos not able to back it. He's not going to have that damage to be able to do anything in that gank. So all been on Kenma's damage there, and they just wouldn't have been able to get much done there. It's a nice try though, trying to get some pressure down, trying to get Ekos that favor, but he might have actually should have stayed to push that wave in.
Run, Kenma. We'll find him. Run, Kenma. Run! He has Flash available in a few seconds, and Ekus is on the way up. Actually, I just want to go back to mid quickly, because Chentang, his Flash was down since that level 1 kind of skirmish around red buff that Bristol won. And now his Flash is back up. So Kenma and Ekus weren't able to find any kind of advantage, despite the summoner disadvantage that Chentang had.
Yeah, the Rise there was first to rotate, and so got that early kill. They weren't able to do much, because of course, the Udit, having died in that late invade, just tried to get his camps up. Didn't have enough real time to get anywhere near that mid lane. And so now, with that flashback up, will be very even hard to kill. And so they Gadunica trying to find the Udit in the jungle, gets called off by his team. His bot lane had reset, and the Corki was moving first. So he plays it safe, doesn't overchase, which is very smart of him. You do not want to be giving away that 150 gold shutdown that you worked hard for. As he now is just giving what is good to say by Kemba though is he is keeping up in the CS with the Olaf, despite that early. He's now one camp down, but will likely get that on his next clear.
You wouldn't know what is one of the worst things currently for Surrey, and it's not the fact that Gudunica got 2 kills off the bat and is 10 CS on Kenma. It's the fact that Huri has gone for the Karma and is actually 15 CS down on FN.
Yeah, I saw it on the early and that reset, that Chichibiku managed the game enough, because when he was using a lot of his pots, was pushing it in. I saw it earlier be like a one wave advantage. It seems that Huria wasn't quite able to take it all onto turret, and it's now 20 down. We'll pick up this wave, we'll narrow it, but yeah, it seems that the Dash with that move speed now is going to be very hard to deal with. But now, both teams, Udo now just holding into the river, seeing what we can get done. Might start up this held, or at least make sure. Oh, he does start it up, but Kadunka does know they've got a ward on it.
Kenma, you do not have lane priority. You cannot go for this. And Gudunica just quite simply clears a ward away, and that is enough to make Kenma run for the hills. And that is probably the smart decision to make, and Gudunica will start up the Rift Herald himself.
Yeah, what was going on, who I think stepped up trying to help his jungler out, while then FN engaged on him, will chunk down who are a little bit on that Karma, and so won't really want to be stepping up too much now, and they will just start it, knowing that they've got that lead. Darius now cheating into the river, making sure that Uda is going to be okay to not step up.
FN resetting, but he does have the teleport available. Flash forward, there comes the chilling spike, the full collapse onto Chentang. Chentang running, one more auto, there it is! Oh, the railgun just too late from Benuxas to keep Chentang alive. And Chentang will die for the first time in the game.
That setup was so close to hitting, would have clutched it. Echoes then wouldn't have been able to chase forward that. Olaf would have chased him down as well if he'd gone any further. But that is just by inches they managed to get that kill. The flash, they do flash in with a very aggressive play. Violet, of course, then does lose his flash, running to try and get help from his jungler, but can't get it. And so now Wolves fall. Kemba, though, invading onto the Olaf here, trying to get some of this gold back.
Kenma is just a few minions behind, just one camp behind Gudunica. Could potentially look for a gang bot side, but there is a ward in the river bush, so Kenma will just reset here. Currently a 1k gold advantage for the University of Bristol, and just like in game 1, the kind of knight in shining armor for Surrey is the fact that Lamborghini and Easy Game are ahead as usual, and Kenma, well, I mean, if we exclude that level 1 red buff shenanigan, has done a fantastic job to stay relatively even to Gudunica.
Yeah, so after that level 1 invade, we saw gold was about 1200, 1300, so the fact that that hasn't ballooned too much, as say basically the same, means that Surrey haven't lost anything more. They've stemmed that bleeding, and they've gained to a much even footing. I think a lot of this gold is probably going to be in that top lane CS difference, and that plate. It's Karma not doing too well into the Darius, hasn't quite got the items needed to be able to run away, and is going for that more supportive build, so it does not have any sort of kill pressure onto it, as Surrey now decides to even up the Drake.
Surrey taking this Drake in their stride, but their stride might be broken, because Gudunica has opted for a stride breaker on the Olaf, and I was expecting, well, oh, actually, never mind. Oh no, the pulverize! It doesn't connect, and Easy Game messes up the easy combo. And oh no, now it's just getting turned around on his head. Easy Game and Kenma on the run, a flasher forward, the pull in, FN picks up a kill to go the way of Bristol.
Yeah, Easy Game, they're going for that gank onto that mid lane, getting that roam off when he could, and just trying to get to miss up the combo, and the counter ganks came through. The TP off from FN on that top lane gets himself a kill for his effort, and that's going to make Karma's life even more miserable.
It happens. It can happen. You miss the headbutt pulverize combo, but you always think it won't happen. But this time, Easy Game doesn't press the pulverize in time and just knocks Chentang away. Kenma spotting out Nibble, going fully in. Phoenix starts coming through. Nibble will flash out safety, but that's a flash down on the support. And a potential opportunity now for Surrey to try to abuse this bottom side of the map.
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks from last game. Udyr running at Seraphine and just absolutely destroy it. So there, they will go for another gank here. Chentang not got any mana. Does have enough though to get his phase rush procced. Easy Game GG gets his movies, I think, stopped by the minions, and so he isn't able to run him down. But that will be the Bristol drop top, and that will be first turret for 14 minutes.
More gold going the way of the Bristol top lane. Game 1, we saw Bristol playing around mid lane, Chentang being the one getting an advantage. Game 2, Bristol playing around top side, and again, Gadunica in the center of it all. 3-0 on the Olaf. And I want to go back to that point that I made previously, which was the Stride Breaker coming through over something like the Gore Drinker.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by the Stride Breaker as well. I thought the Gore Drinker would have been his pick. I think he's thinking, I've got enough healing, I don't really need it too much more. So he's just gone for Stride Breaker, trying to get that burst, get that extra little bit of distance from it. However, yeah, so, no, he might have tried this one before. I'm going to trust him. He might realise that when he's ahead, this is the one he wants to go for. That's, of course, going for Stride Breaker as well. It's very nice of him. It allows him to close that gap a little bit against that Karma. Has got level 2 boost on the Karma, so it has got a little bit more kiting potential. However, that is now a 20 CS lead in that top lane. That is absolutely ballooned, plus the first turret and the plates. FN is very far ahead.
5 kills to 2. 3k goal lead for Bristol. FN is far ahead. He's 1-0. He's got a 20 CS lead as well. Completed his first item. And Hurio is still yet to complete the Moonstone Renewer. And of course, we all know Gadunica is ahead 3-0 on the Olaf. And again, scaling comp for both sides here. You know, Ekus and Lamborghini want to scale on the Corki and the Sivir. And Bristol kind of want to scale on Chentang and Benuxas on the Rise and Senna respectively.
Yeah, as you see it, so it's nice to see Ekos actually seems like holding his own, not really going too far behind in this lane. Interesting to see when he gets a package up, what he decides to do with it. Might go for the next dragon when he has it, when FN now going onto that Karma. Absolutely destroying. Also, Gadunica there just taking away that top lane farm from Klenma.
Oh, Gadunica's going all in. The Chilling Smite comes through. The damage. Oh, dearie me. Dawning Shadow comes through on top. FN going in, gets the pull, gets the kill, gets taken down in return. 2 for 1 on the top side of the map in favor of University of Bristol.
Yeah, that was quite... It won't be necessarily the worst thing. Kemo will give his time for his camps to spawn, but he might lose his blue up here if they know it's up. Rise already got one, but no, this is falling apart. Gadunica is just using his top lane as lead to get into Kemo's jungle, take away that CS. Kemo probably should just be playing to his bot side here, the one that's ahead. But he's trying to save his top lane, bail him out, and ends up falling as a result.
Well, you know what they say, what's better than 1 blue buff on a Rise? 2 blue buffs on a Rise. And, well, Chentang's going to be having some extra cooldown, some more mana for even longer on core coming through on the top, on the bottom lane. Headbutt Pulverizer, this time Easy Game doesn't miss it. And Surrey will be able to find 1 kill given over to Lamborghini on the Surf.
Yeah, Bristol realizing that the Surfing was caught, doesn't burn any summoners, just takes the death. And it will very nicely be gifted over to the Sivir, try and get to our next side. However, this will be interesting to see what they fight for next. Got Cloud Drake up in 30 seconds. Not necessarily the best rate for these teams. However, it will be nice to have, especially for that Olaf, if you can get the soul. But they will go again for this mid lane gank from the Alistair. Head flashes over the wall.
Yeah, has a face rush, Headbutt Pulverize will connect. But no all-in coming through from the side of Surrey, unsure on where Gadunica is, I presume. And Kenma has spotted out Gadunica. Does he want to go in? Has that Turbo Chem tank available? But for now, Bristol are just going to clear away the vision in the bottom river as the Drake has descended upon us.
Yeah, Bristol now with the lead will decide, and if that early vision control will just take this way uncontested as the Udyr goes farming his top side here. However, that will be 2-1 on Drake's. Soul Point not really a threat at this point in time. But with it, I was noting before, this is going to be probably a scaling game from both sides. So we should eventually get to that stage. However, it will not be for a while. Held up, Udyr now trying to get this. They do have the momentum on this. With the bot side being entirely full of Bristol players, they should be able to get this uncontested. FN though, trying to make a bit more nosing his way in there, trying to be a pain. And it will be enough to fully push them away. It took too long.
Yep. And unlike in Game 2, where we saw Surrey able to secure the second Rift Herald, here, or pardon me, unlike in Game 1, where Surrey were able to secure the second Rift Herald, here in Game 2, Bristol will be the ones to secure both the first and the second Rift Herald. Okay, something else I want to bring up as well is the fact that Surrey, or I should be more specific, Lamborghini on the Sivir, he's actually opted for the Gale says, here comes the collapse, Encore will connect, and actually lands on to pretty much every single member of Surrey, and Benuxas just kiting back beautifully. Dawning Shadow will buy a shield, and now the turnaround from Bristol. as Kenma runs for the hill. Easy game in a spot of bother, gets a prison down by the Rune Prison and gets taken down. Chentang picks up the kill. It will be the only kill of the fight.
Yeah, the initial play from his MGG was good. Kenma gets caught in his jungle.
Rip.
And that's not your jungle either. You got to run away. But no, that initial play, flashing over the wall, was good. He got onto the center really well. I just don't think he should have been headbutting away from some of his team members. They weren't able to quite get the center burst down. And Seraphine, the beautiful ult, hits all the members there, allows Benux to run away. Does it also just kite it very well with that glacial augment. Kiting away that Udyr. Udyr couldn't run out, and then Olaf there runs down the Udyr in the end. And that will be 2 kills for the side of Bristol for 0.
Fantastically played by Bristol. They now have a 6,000 gold lead. So going back to what I wanted to bring up, which is the fact that Lamborghini has opted for a Gale Force. Now Gale Force, I mean, to me anyway, always seems to be something that you take when ahead, and if you aren't significantly ahead, it's just not as effective as a Kraken Slayer, and I don't know if you would agree with that sentiment, Caleb.
Yeah, the Gale Force, I think he might have just taken, trying himself a little bit more of an escape, giving him some extra mobility. But no, it is one that he has gone for, knowing that the game does sort of stand on his shoulders right now. Icarus has been doing some nice things, is equal in farm, basically just one way down. And so won't be on him though. He will be more a secondary, more poking, trying to set up Lamborghini here on the Sivir. It is now down to Sivir to get that damage down. So he has Gamble, I believe, here. Just make sure he can get it, so he can get that damage. However, coming out is going to be really sad. We saw that the Olaf is just running through his jungle with PC, just taking his camps. And so that gap is now 35 CS lead. It is coming quite disgusting.
7k goal lead now to the side of Bristol. How do Surrey get back in this game? Is it entirely around trying to find picks?
Yeah, you really have to. It's going to be very hard because the Karma there just can't really stand in that side with Darius. She can probably get this wave, but she can't go any further. So there's going to be no pressure on that lane. The Rise now is onto the top lane. Just try and 1v1 this. They do have also the sustain, thanks to Sen and Surfing, to actually do any sort of siege. They win. You're now just running again into his jungle. No mercy. Taking everything away.
And it's so hard for Kenma to try to find some experience, and they're going to look to go on Nibble. Blue buffer for your support, says Surrey. Can they get on? There's so many shields, so many heals. Nibble will finally fall, but now the rest of Bristol turn over to the party. And Easy Game will sacrifice his life so that Surrey can attempt to escape. A flash forward, Rune Prison Ender, and Gadunica shows up. Chentang picks up the second of the fight. 2-4-1 in favor of Bristol.
Yeah, Nils there does get caught in the river, trying to have his team out, not expecting Surrey to be positioned where they are, but they will start the barrow now.
And you can't blame Surrey. They saw, okay, Gadunika's on our blue buff. Let's just try to find a pick. Let's quickly get a pick and run. But Nibble just didn't die. He just refused to die. It was quite impressive that it took that long for a Seraphine to fall.
Yeah, she has, of course, the double defensive summons there. She flashes away, does heal, gets off all her healing, gets the encore, and it just couldn't mess with it. And they spent too long trying to chase it, got on the wrong side of that Baron Pit wall, and then on the wrong side of the map, got chased down. Udyr, though, managed to scurry away into the enemy jungle, does get the recall off, so not the end of the world, but as so just there, 5 seconds on that dragon, with a Baron buff and another Herald dropped, it's almost certainly going to be the side of Bristol that takes this.
Yeah, Herald dropped to buy time so that the rest of Bristol can turn towards the Drake. And actually, Rift Herald will be able to secure the outer tower. So that is all 3 outer towers that have now fallen for Surrey. And Bristol still yet to drop a single tower of their own.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world losing that tower for Surrey. It does allow them to maybe farm a little bit closer to their base and not get pressure because they were all getting invaded into their jungle. So it wasn't like that tower was stopping them. But this does allow them now to farm, as you see here, a bit safer and not as more pushed up. However, they are now focused with that Bama onto that mid lane. Vise on that side lane, uncontested at the moment, might get that tier 2.
21 minutes into the game, nearly a 10,000 goal lead for Bristol, and Gadunica sees Kem and says, "You dare step into my jungle, I shall throw axes at you." Effin is showing up as well, but Kenma is a very, very fast boy and able to run out to safety.
Yeah, has gone full on there, so the Olaf, even with the true damage on his, he can't quite chase him down. And now they will focus, got that mid tier 2 down to half health, but the Vise now still uncontested. It seems like Ekis is just not able to quite deal with him, trying to rotate around. We're yet to see a good package this game though.
Yeah, I haven't really... I think there was one package that was used by Ekos, which was to get out to safety at some point. One of the good things, I guess, for Surrey here is that they have a Sivir, they have a Corki, they have Wave Clear, and they can just try to absorb all of these Baron-empowered minions and just try to farm up while under siege.
Yeah, we've got another 50 seconds on this Baron buff here, so I see they do. They are going to.
This is aggressive. That's the encore coming in. The package will follow through. Kenma will surely get taken now. Not able to run out to safety. Courtesy of the shields from the Karma. Gudunica just going on to easy game. The Railgun will chip away. And all that's damage coming through from Ekos. But not enough to take down Benuxas. And Bristol will find the one kill for nothing. And now they can crack open Surrey's base for the first time in the game. And that will be Inhibitor Tower falling both in the top and mid lanes. And Bristol can now look to take down the two inhibitors as well.
Yeah, Bristol here looking to make this 2-0. They're going to get both inhibitors at the same time. He's quite good, but he gets caught.
Oh, the apprehend comes through Effen, and Benuxas just delete Huria, and Bristol will retreat. They'll look to get resets off. The Baron buff has come to an end. I think that was an effective Baron power play from the side of Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. Timed perfectly. They're doing the package there, as it spawned, did try and do a lot. FN though just tanked the entire thing and only got taken down maybe 1,000 health. And then X there just on the back line. He was fully alone, trying to just trade his life away, but couldn't manage it. He's getting out trying to get vision of their own jungle back. Both Baron and Dragon Soul Point are spawning at the same time, so might be able to trade one for the other there if they can do well enough, but it's not looking good for Surrey.
It is not. 3 items now completed for Benuxas. And actually, could we find out how many mist Benuxas has collected and how close he is to the 100 mark? So 80 stacks of mist. So he's getting close to 100. He's got a lot of range as well, and I think we just saw how much range he had on the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, it was quite surprising that Seraphine didn't farm up, because that could have been quite an interesting way to do the lane. Have Seraphine farm up, get all that gold, and then Senna get all that range. However, it seems like Senna has been able to get quite a lot of stacks. I think he's been following around Gudunica, getting those jungle souls instead. They are now just going to push onto top lane. Only thing of objectives left on the map, and this will force. Sorry, now are going to have to go for a helmet at some point. They're probably going to want to wait for another package and just see if they get a fight.
Chentang's just pushing in the bot side. 4-1 split push coming through from Bristol. They're not taking any chances. They're looking to crack open the base from every single angle. And Lamborghini has wave clear and trying desperately to use it just to push out the waves. But how effective is it? As Chentang walks away, but no, he's going to get engaged on the lockdown. But look at the amount of movement speed from the phase rush. Dawning Shadow gets the shield as well. And the turnaround, Chentang is able to find one. And the rest of Bristol show up. They want to join the party. They say, you want a 4v1? How about a 4v4? And they go in, and Encore will not be able to find its mark. The Darius just trying to 1v4 under the Nexus lightning laser of Doom, Destiny, and obviously does fall in the process. So now it's a 4v4. Bristol taking a handicap. Bristol want to fight this one fair and square. And on to the Udyr they go. Kenma will fall. Headbutt pulverized. Chentang says, thank you for the kill. And the Nexus towers will surely fall after Benuxas and Gudunica just want to clear away every single structure that Surrey once held dear to them. They will push on in with the super minions. Look how many mists are just sitting there for Benuxas. I think that might actually take him up to 100 or very close. Valkyrie forward from Ekus. He won't be able to find the kill. And Bristol, once again, they retreat. And once again, Surrey are able to find just enough to keep their base alive.
Yeah, see that they have TP'd back for this Baron here. They are going to try to pick up before going for this drain, it would seem. Surrey now just aren't able to leave their base. Those minions are just pouring in. As we saw there, Levi's there on his own, managed to hold his own in 1v3. Senot comes in, and what we saw on the side of it is that even at how low the Levi's got, the Seraphine immediately just healed them all up almost to full, allowing them to continue their siege, get all 3 inhibs, almost take a Nexus turret. But now with that Baron buff, all 3 inhibs down, it's going to be very hard for Surrey to stop this.
And that's the final Cloud Drake, and I guess one silver lining for Surrey is that it is a Cloud Soul. It's not an Ocean, it's not an Infernal, which could have been so tricky for Surrey to play around. But it is a Cloud, so yes, they can ult more often, but I don't really think it matters too much in the team of fights, and the movement speed won't matter too much either. There will be an Elder in 6 minutes time, but for Surrey, look how much gold they're able to just pick up now as, amazing TP from Chentang.
What? Oh, they're going for the ult. They want to go as they want to run it.
Okay.
Past the vision. Maybe trying to dodge the vision.
I feel like there were better ways to do that.
I think there are better ways, but I think the Vi's a bit sad not getting to use his ult the game. It was like TPing into using a Vi's ult.
First time he used his ult?
Perhaps. He might have used it earlier, maybe to move a minion wave or two. But he's definitely there, just a bit sad.
The final Nexus Tower has fallen. Surrey in 2020, they fell in the finals. They were only able to take second place. But here in 2021, they get taken out in the quarterfinals, and the University of Bristol will advance to the semis.
Yeah, that was a good game there from Bristol, showing their prowess, and you would not really want facing them in the next round, for sure. So interesting to see who. Oh, and do we have the updated? Not quite yet. It'll be interesting to see who they face next time and what they do to prepare against such strong opposition. I would put. What would you give the MVP to? Would you say?
It's got to be Guernica or Chentang, right?
Yeah, I would go Guernica there. Strong on both games. The Vice course being very good, but massively popped up. Guernica on the Olaf and the Udyr, really showing his prowess in the jungle and making it a jungle diff.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic from Guernica. And at the start of the show, we said, oh, Bristol, they've got all of these high elo players. Do they have the synergy to go with it? Yes. Yes, they do. They really have the synergy to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. They showed off. They had a bit of a rocky start to game one where they were getting maybe out-rotated, getting collapsed on a bit too easily. But they really, towards the middle of the game, they really got that together, realized, right, we can move as a team. We're better here. We can take these skillful fights and know that we can win. And they did that, and they showed that they are the better team here.
I mean, you say it was a rocky start to game one. It was the first 5 minutes they had like 2 deaths or something. It was literally that one Drake play, and that was it.
Yeah, I'm very much spinning here. So they were. Yeah. It was maybe like at the Drake, the Udyr got caught out, and they get rotated on, and there's a nice gank onto that mid lane from the support. After that, it was more before even at 10 minutes. It was back onto Bristol's side. They knew what they were doing, and they're showing off that they deserve the ranks they have.
I think if any team that has to face Bristol in the semi-finals or the finals, the one kind of weakness, if we can say weakness, or maybe it was just good from Surrey, was the fact that Surrey were able to win in the bot lane in both games. They were able to find an advantage on the bottom side of the map. So maybe whoever plays against Bristol next needs to try to play around this weakness of the Bristol bot lane.
Yeah, I saw that there were some ways to exploit the bot lane. They weren't playing a lot of safe picks, not trying to be too aggressive, and they would definitely be able to punish ball. Even when they're playing the Rail Jhin, they would dive a lot, they got killed a lot, they would get engaged on and not being able to survive it. And I think a lot of that came down to just the map split that was occurring due to the jungle. A lot of the time, Guernica was spending over some top lane and mid lane, trying to get those ahead. And so that did mean he sort of sacrificed his bot lane prior and bot lane pressure, and that's all what happened. So it'd be interesting to see if a team who was maybe a stronger bot lane who is willing to focus on that bot lane can get a dub against them.
Either way, an impressive performance from Bristol nonetheless, able to go 2-0 against the last season's finalists of Surrey, and they will advance to the semi-finals. But for myself and Kalo, this is all that we do have a time for. Thank you very much for tuning in. SouthLAnder will be back next weekend on Saturday with the CSGO semi-finals before we head on over to Sunday for the League of Legends semi-finals. We hope to see you all there. And until next week, stay tilt-proof on the Rift, and goodbye for now.
See ya.